Today's guest is someone I was looking forward to really having on the show. He's involved with one of the largest development projects in Philadelphia right now that was 4 years in the making. And before I get into the specifics on that or where he currently is, let me introduce him. Brian Emmons, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, man. I was really looking forward to it, to talk shop.
Yeah, man.
It's interesting just going through, doing a little research on your path and your history. We actually graduated the same year, 1997.
Yeah, man. Where'd you go?
Temple University,
Okay.
local here in Philly. Yeah. You went to Purdue University, good school, Big Ten, the Boilermakers.
Yeah, when I was there, there were 10 schools, and I think there's like 17 now, or it's something crazy.
They were talking about changing Big 12, or they're still Big 10 though, right? Or how many schools
Yeah,
are
still
there?
Big 10, but then we added Penn State and Rutgers and
Rutgers and Maryland. Yeah,
that's
right.
Crazy.
That's right. You took up construction management. That sounds familiar. You have a BS in that. And then you, after college, you started with, is it Link Management Incorporated?
Yeah, well, Link Management was a company that I started with while I was a sophomore at Purdue. The gentleman I worked for, Tom Walter, left the largest general contractor in our town, started his own owner's rep construction management company, and I was his first employee. Okay. I tell people all the time that one of the greatest, I really think, things that I learned from day one is like there is no task too trivial for anyone. So when I started, I was in college, didn't know anything. I answered the phones. I did the filing. I toured every job site. I had a tape. I mapped out existing buildings. I took the meeting minutes, distributed them. I wrote every single contract, every scope of work, did every schedule. I cleaned the office. I did everything. And, I think, learning young in the business and having the ability to do everything is where everybody should start, because it really, gets you headed in the right direction.
Yeah. Yep. Now learning the business inside and out, all the nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah. So that job actually, after I graduated from college, I worked for Tom for a couple of years, and that was going really well. And then I, was seeing all these salespeople making a ton of money, and I was like, these guys aren't even really very good at selling. And I thought I was like, I had I had a path there. I had an uncle that had a manufacturer's rep business, and I got a job working for I left Link for like 3 years.
Okay.
To work for a company called Uponor Worsbo. They produce PEX piping that you see in residential homes. In this old house, you see Bob Vila running radiant floor heating systems in this plastic tubing. Well, that was all Worsbo. So I got a job training contractors and engineers how to design and install radiant floor heating systems, and using it for potable plumbing systems. So that was all great and dandy until 2 years later, I realized that being on the road 5 days a week was not very, let's just say overrated and not very good for a family life. So I made a decision. I went back to Link and was there for another couple of years and basically running the company, and discussed a buyout scenario, and we didn't end up pursuing that. And I took a job with Toll Brothers, America's luxury home builder, and Toll Brothers moved me from Indiana to Naples, Florida. I was down there for 3 years. Saw the good, the bad, and the ugly in Florida. I like to tell people, you see The Big Short, talking about the housing crisis and, the crazy things that were happening down there. Well, I lived through that. And I also saw the other side. There's another, I think, another movie called 99 Homes. And that's sort of from the different perspective, not the financial sector, but from a person, a family that actually lost their home and were trying to, find their path back to financial stability after that. I saw all of that. And then Toll Brothers moved me to Philadelphia, where we met years ago.
Yeah.
And I was with Toll until 2016, 2017.
2017 is what I'm seeing here. You were with Toll for about 12 years, correct?
Yeah. Started with Toll in 2005, left early 2016 or 2017. Really started, left, I was starting my own business, and the project of Laurel, which I'm working on now. I had reached out to Southern Land Company when they acquired the property, because I had previously been trying to acquire the same piece of real estate for Toll. And I wanted to develop it and, either partner or buy a portion of the property from Southern Land. And they asked me to come on and, help develop the project. So here we are. It's you see it right there on my wall. Amazing project, 48 stories right on Rittenhouse Square, 65 condominiums, 185 apartments, 40,000 square foot of Class A commercial space. We're gonna have the first Equinox Fitness Center in the state of Pennsylvania. All literally, I like to refer to Rittenhouse Square as oceanfront property. This project is really extraordinary. There's not going to be another project like it.
It's gorgeous from what I've seen, and my previous employer is building it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So you've been working with them for some time. So how's the project going? Is it on schedule?
Considering that we went through a pandemic and we lost about 6 weeks, we are.
Awesome.
We're a little behind where we would like to be, obviously. No matter how the schedule's going, you want to push it. But things are good. I was just on site. We poured the 28th floor slab today. We should be doing one floor slab every 3 days at this point.
Okay.
The window walls up to floor 18, which is pretty exciting. So we're doing one window wall floor about every 4 days. So the window wall is chasing the project, the concrete up the building, and on the 5th floor we're hanging drywall. So it's good stuff.
It is good stuff, definitely, especially a project of that magnitude. What's the total project value? Just was curious. Where are you at currently?
The project cost is about $400 million.
Gotcha.
When it's all said and done, we believe the value will be closer to 500 million. Yeah.
Have you been dealing with material increases at all with everything that's going on?
Yeah, we locked in our pricing about 2 years ago. So we are trying to hold off any price increases. Man-made products from China. We're seeing some tariff issues there, but these concrete and steel buildings, when you contract them and you secure firm pricing, we're locked in. Yeah, the residential wood frame construction right now is seeing some huge increases.
That's a little different. With the dimensional lumber for sure. Yeah, man. No, good stuff. I was just thinking, where did we meet? Was it 2008, 2009 during the Phillies World Series?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think we met at a Phillies game. We had mutual friends, ended up in the States.
I know it was our friends in the business. Yeah. I was just trying to remember where it was. It might have been at one of those games.
Those were good times. The Phillies looking strong this year. I hope we're going to be back there.
They are looking good, man. I was saying they're going to be undefeated now. They look really good. Pitching has stepped up. this year, and man, they got a lineup from 1 to 9. You don't want to face any of them as a pitcher.
Nope.
No, good stuff. Sixers as well. This is going to be a fun year. Back to COVID-19. What other impacts have you seen at all? In the development world, in the construction world, if you could just dive into that a little bit.
So COVID-19 has really changed, Core Center City dramatically. We're seeing things open up, but for a good solid 12 months, people were staying home. They were staying out of the city, for the first 6 months. I remember I came home from Florida and quarantined for 6 weeks at my house. Part of the Laurel, I explained, was condominiums and condo sales. People, we couldn't have anybody in the office. And if, once we could have people in the office, there was a lot of people that were still not comfortable and venturing out of their homes. So sales really slowed down for us. The great thing is we went to the market with 20% pre-sales anyway. So we weren't, in a desperate need for any sales. So we were able to weather the storm, and traffic has really, really picked up. But it's slowing down construction a little bit. You look at the man lift, we can only have 5 guys in the man lift right now, because the operator's in there. Typically we could have 12 to 16. So just getting materials and men in and out of a building right now, we've got, 350 to 400 men in the building. And when they all get in the man lift, you've got to space them out. Yeah. So it's slowing down construction, permitting. Again, slowed down the first 90 days, I want to say. The good thing is, and I'd like to pat the folks at Philadelphia City Planning and L&I on the back, because they all went home and they didn't have computers and they didn't know when they were going to be back to work, and they had to figure it out, and they've done so. So
they were all remote.
It's been really fun to see everybody adapt, because all of these meetings that we used to have in person, now I think everybody's being more efficient, and they're spending less time on the road, and they're being more productive. So while we were, we saw some lags and some slowdowns in other parts of our business, it was really fun to see other parts of our business really find a way to streamline.
Yeah, no, I've seen that too. And driving into the city, something you touched on with the man lifts, some of those lines, driving by some of the big projects, going to my projects, you see that line wrapping around the building. The guys have to go up, and like you said, much smaller, amount of men going up. Yeah. So just wanted to go back, like why construction? What led you to going that path?
I get asked that question a lot, and it's sort of funny, because growing up, my father was a union carpenter, and he worked, union carpenter when he got home from Vietnam, and then he got a job at Eli Lilly, and he worked at Eli Lilly, the pharmaceutical company, 3 days on, 3 days off. Well, in order to make ends meet back in the 70s, on his 3 days off at Lilly, he was still a union carpenter. And, he learned a set of skills that, he could do anything. And my parents started buying apartments. So, when I was 6 years old, my parents were taking us to these apartments that my dad was doing stuff. So, I've been around construction literally since I can remember. And, growing up, we painted, we hung the drywall, we ran, redid electrical. We would completely gut, like apartment buildings that needed redone. We'd redo the bathrooms, we'd redo the kitchens. And I was helping my dad. And, I sort of got started that way. And then when I was in high school, a friend of mine that was my older cousin, my cousin Bill, he's 10 years older than me. He had this buddy, Kevin Insco. Kevin called me up one day. He's like, hey, I know I'm 10 years older than you, but I remember, you being around construction. He's like, I work for a construction company. You want a summer job? I was like, well, sure. How much do you pay? He's like, well, this is it's a prevailing wage job. It's like $39 an hour. And I was making like 7 working for the city of Philadelphia. I was like,
right. Oh man.
tell me when and where. I'm there. I was in high school. You know how much money
Yeah.
that was for a kid in high school?
That's
Minimum wage
incredible.
was like
Yeah.
$6.
Yeah.
So, I took that job. I was helping, I was a laborer. We were doing concrete work. We were putting in curbs and sidewalks for the city. And then we had other earth moving jobs. I was driving a scraper. I was, 17 years old, driving a scraper and a loader, a Bobcat.
Love it.
It was the coolest thing ever. And, then I went to Purdue. Interesting enough, I started in pre-vet because I'm an animal lover. And then I quickly realized that I hate chemistry and I'm not any good at it. And
I didn't like chemistry either.
well, then one of my buddies tells me, he's like, hey, listen, you should think about this building construction management engineering stuff. He's like, and I'm like, well, I know that stuff. And I knew a lot of contractors that did very well. So I made the change. And, I really went from being a construction guy to more of a development guy.
Yeah.
And that's really with Toll, I went from, watching and overseeing sale our construction to, finding parcels of property, understanding the highest and best use, understanding the zoning, getting projects entitled, taking them, through the design process, bidding process, and just seeing, large major developments from acquisition to completion on behalf of the owner.
Yep. No, good stuff. I considered going that route too, but stayed in the construction management world.
Oh yeah, I tell you what, Nick, there are times where I'm like, it would be nice just to worry about framing and drywall, or it'd be just good to have to worry about plumbing or electric. When you're in the development side, you've got to worry about everything. You've got to worry about insulation and the roof and the green roof and the landscaping and the interior design and the carpet colors and the fixture colors.
Yeah.
Really, you touch every detail on a project. And for me, that's really exciting, especially on the creative side, because there's the other part of it. And, we worry about the naming and the branding and the logos and the marketing approach and how we get buyers and renters through our doors. So what size apartments should we build? What size condominiums? Like, how big are the closets? What are the hardwoods going to look like?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep. I was involved with a New York developer when I did a mid-rise tower, where I was involved with the process of, the buyers coming in, helping with, just kind of assisting the developer owner with that process, punch listing and all that. But yeah, when you're dealing with the owners and the buyers, that adds a whole nother element to your, job responsibilities for sure.
Sure does. And, right now we're selling the most expensive real estate in Philadelphia. And we have an obligation to deliver as close to perfect homes as we can. And we're taking that responsibility very seriously. Hunter Roberts knows about it. When, you're building really what I call a legacy project, most people never have the ability to work on a project of this caliber. And it's really exciting, and it's going to be here in 50 years, and I want to be able to take my kids and my grandkids past it and show my project I worked on.
Yeah, no, it's awesome stuff, man. I'm gonna have to come visit you and check it out.
Yeah, I'd love to give you a hard hat tour. They're fun. That
would be awesome. Well, I'll definitely make a point to do it in the coming months. So what do you love most about the industry?
What do I love most about the industry? For me, it's the creative side. It's being able to come up with a vision for a project and then actually produce it. There's so many industries out there that, There are people that are literally grinding out, either paperwork or numbers or accounting, but when it's all said and done with, what they see is they see an empty inbox, or they see a successful result on whether it's a trial or a healthy patient. We get to see this magnificent building where once was a parking lot or an open lot, and that building's going to be there forever. And, thousands and thousands of people get to enjoy it, and you create jobs, and, it's just sort of,
rewarding. Yeah.
Every project is different.
Yeah.
Every project has its own complexities. So it's problem solving all day, every day.
Love it.
No days, 2 days are the same.
Yeah. No, I can relate to that, man. It's what I love about it too. So outside of work, what are you passionate about? Like, what do you like to do for hobbies? Well,
the last year I played more golf than I've ever played. That's mainly because I used to, I'm a huge outdoorsman. I like fishing and hiking, camping. A couple of years ago, I hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. I've hiked many trails and done camping trips throughout the United States. I love fishing. I've got a world record. I've caught the largest yellow tail snapper in the world. I really love outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
I got an injury. I used to rock climb. I sort of had to stop rock climbing because of an injury, but really anything outdoors. I have a huge passion for traveling. I haven't hit every continent yet, but I'm working my way there. I take a lot of vacation. I work on vacation all the time, like nonstop.
Awesome.
I tell people all the time that this job is not a job, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And when you're the conductor of the orchestra, you've got to keep everybody going, and they can't sit around, and you can't bring a job to a halt waiting for a decision because I'm in Florida golfing. You got to keep people going. And so between travel and doing stuff outdoors, I love being with my family. I love cooking.
Nice.
Everybody laughs because I'm so particular. Like, I love good food. It's just like, I have this belief that, you live once, enjoy what you consume. There's people that eat because they're hungry, and, I think it doesn't require that much more effort to make a really great meal.
Good meal. Yeah. Would you consider yourself a foodie?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you can go to every.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, you can go to every great restaurant in the city, and the manager there probably knows me.
That's good stuff, man. So when the Laurel's done, where do you think you and Southern Land Company are heading? Anything else brewing in the city?
Oh yeah. I'm surprised you didn't hear. We've actually started demolition 2 weeks ago on our next project.
Okay.
At 1620 Sansom Street, we're building a 28-story mixed-use high-rise. It's right across from Abe Fisher and Dizengoff on Sansom Street.
Okay.
Between 16th and 17th. Nice. Gorgeous building, approximately 300 apartments, first and second floor restaurant space, two levels of underground parking. It's great. We're going to be breaking ground. Demolition started now. We're going to be, rolling straight into excavation and construction. So, by August this year, we'll have two towers within 3 blocks of each other.
Wow.
I've got another project under contract right now that we're in due diligence in another neighborhood in Philadelphia. That'll probably be a 12-story, 300 unit apartment building. Again, nice. Mixed use, ground floor restaurant space.
All in Center City. In Center City, you're saying, right?
Yeah. Well, the last one is more of a neighborhood. It's not in the core Center City. It's like in a neighborhood, but it's a lot of the neighborhoods are more popular right now than Center City. And
Mhm.
if you ask a person if they want to live in Old City or if they'd rather live in Fishtown or Northern Liberties, I think most people at this point would tell you Northern Liberties and Fishtown.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think really there's a huge area, let's say between Callow Hill and Spring Garden, that's been yet to develop. So I really see that being the next frontier in Philadelphia.
Interesting. Good stuff, man. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on today, man. Was looking forward to this, and I wanted to end if there's someone that wants to get into construction, what would your advice be for them on how to do so?
Oh, I have, I've spoken with people that want to be in construction, and then you meet with them, and I ask them questions. Um, what motivates you? Is it money? Is it creativity? Um, what do you want from your day to day? Do you want to be on your feet? Do you want to be behind the computer? Do you want to interact with people? And really try to flush out like what motivates them, because
Yeah.
there's so many different aspects of this business that you can get into, from the realtor side to the
Design.
city planning side to architecture, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, engineering, civil engineering. Do you want to survey? There, field engineering. There's so many different aspects, and then there's the entire like labor side. There are true craftsmen out there on these jobs, and I tell people all the time that these guys working in these buildings are sometimes the biggest artists on the job.
So skilled. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people just don't understand and appreciate it. But when you walk into these buildings and you see the ornamental stair systems that the guys welded together, or the millwork for entry lobbies, or the glazing and the custom chandeliers, there's so many different aspects of the business. So, I just encourage them to figure out like what part of that business sounds exciting, and what would motivate them, and what they would get out of bed every single day and be happy. If you're not going to enjoy what you're going to do every day, you need to do something else. When people complain about their job, it drives me nuts. You live life one time. If you don't like it, what you're doing, make a change. But you got to also realize you're getting paid. Because not every day is going to be rainbows and butterflies. That's why you get paid. You don't get paid because every day is awesome. You get paid to work through issues. But I encourage somebody to find a resource and talk to as many people as you can, and sort of try to narrow in what would make you happy every single day.
No, great response. I appreciate the detail to that. And these guys are so skilled, out there. And that's what this podcast is about. Like we talked about prior to the recording, I want to show each tradesman, bring a tradesman on and talk about their skills and what they do day in and day out. And maybe that'll trigger something for somebody, that show interest in that. But no, man, appreciate it. And if anyone wants to get a hold of you, you want to share any social media or website information, contact information?
The best way is my email, that's my brian.emmons@southernland.com. You can check out our website at the laurelrittenhouse.com. We have an amazing project there. Check it out. We've got a construction cam. You can see our renderings, and all the cool videos and stuff that we're putting together there. But Nick, I just want to tell you, buddy, I'm proud of you. A lot of people, you made the move. A lot of people are scared to make. Starting your own business, and
I appreciate that.
It's, if you want to create generational wealth and to be happy every day, you can either make a living working for somebody else, or you can dive in and put your success on your own back and carry it through. And you're doing that, and it's exciting stuff. And it takes a lot of courage for people to do that, but what you're doing is creative, and it's cool, and it's fun. So proud of you, and I just want to congratulate you on that.
I really appreciate the words, man. And really happiness is what I've been after. You know, I just knew I needed something more. It wasn't about the money. It was something more. And, you know, I always loved the business, always loved the industry. And I'm still doing it, you know, but I needed an outlet for more creativity and to do more, you know, and it's been a roller coaster ride for sure. And I actually remember talking to you before you made the move, but I could tell when our conversations, like you were ready to do something too.
Yeah.
You know, when you left Toll. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you know, 12 years at one company is really
Yeah.
unheard of. And, you know,
Yeah.
I always prided myself on being a good employee, but
Yeah.
after a while, you just, you get to a point where it's, time to, you create, so much money and so much wealth, with these sets of skills that you acquire, and you can either do it for yourself or you can do it for somebody else. So,
Yep.
Yep.
Good stuff, brother. Hey, man, we got to get together, man. Soon.
I'd love to.
Soon.
Yeah.
Thanks again. And
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. And I'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
Talk to you soon. See you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.